When I read that Donald Trump yesterday took aim at the American justice system, called it a laughingstock, called it a joke, I thought, whoa, wait a second. Did Donald Trump have some great awakening? Is Donald Trump finally coming out and calling the American justice system what it is because it has one version for the haves and one version for the have-nots? Is Trump going to issue a critique of the war on drugs for deliberately and disproportionately targeting non-white Americans? Is Donald Trump going to call out the plea deal industrial complex that has so many potentially not guilty individuals pleading guilty just to avoid the potential of incredibly long jail time? Is he taking aim at the structural injustices that pervade the American justice system? And the answer is no. Donald Trump called the U.S. justice system a joke and a laughingstock because I guess we haven't been tough enough and already tortured and found guilty the New York truck terrorist from Tuesday's attack. Here's Donnie Boy himself.
And we'll never, ever forget the beautiful lives that have been taken from us. That was a horrible event, and we have to stop it, and we have to stop it cold. We also have to come up with punishment that's far quicker and far greater than the punishment these animals are getting right now. They'll go through court for years. At the end, there'll be who knows what happens. We need quick justice, and we need strong justice. Much quicker and much stronger than we have right now. Because what we have right now is a joke, and it's a laughingstock.
That is pretty damn clear, right? What we have now in terms of the process of justice is a joke and a laughingstock, and trials take too long, and the punishments aren't strong enough. So there's two issues here. One is Trump correct? But before we get to that, issue two is, did Trump say it? Now, you might be saying, wait, hold, David, of course he said it. You just played the video. It's very clear that he said it. For some reason, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, press secretary, hours later, denied that Donald Trump said what he just said in the video I played for you.
Why did the president call the U.S. justice system a joke and a laughingstock during his comments in the cabinet?
That's not what he said.
He said that the system of justice in this
He said
country
that
is a
process.
joke.
He said the process has people calling us a joke and calling us a laughing stock. Look, I think, as I told Margaret, he's simply pointing out his frustration of how long that this process takes, how costly this process is, and particularly for someone to be a known terrorist, that process shouldn't move faster. That's the point he's making. That's the frustration he has.
It has not been a particularly good week for Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Who do you believe? Do you believe the video of Trump saying it? Or do you believe Sarah Huckabee Sanders telling us he didn't say it? Straight up lies day after day. So that part is not really the big headline because we're expecting this now on a daily basis from Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Let's get to the meat of it now, right? The long, costly process that doesn't get the right results in our justice system when it comes to individuals accused of terror and horrible violent crimes. There are people who will say we should be trying these cases, like the New York truck driver, in military tribunals up to and including Gitmo, Guantanamo Bay Detention Center in Cuba. They cite security concerns of having these really bad dudes in our regular courts. The problem is we've had no incidents ever that point to the idea that our court system can't handle dangerous people. We had trials of people involved with Osama bin Laden and 9/11. There were never any issues. Our courts are more than well enough equipped to handle high-profile accused criminals. That's not a problem whatsoever. Well, then they'll point to the cost. The truth is it's actually way cheaper in our regular court system than to actually carry out a trial at, for example, Guantanamo Bay. Well, then they'll point to the results that we really want to nail these people. We want to crush them. The truth is that there's a much higher conviction rate in our regular court system for these types of crimes than at Gitmo. And then they'll talk about speed. And the truth is that our court system, even though it can sometimes seem kind of slow, it's still carrying out these trials much faster than we would see it. Gitmo cases take forever. Trials take forever. So fundamentally, the argument from Trump is completely wrong, but I'm kind of making a mistake because I'm trying to analyze Donald Trump's comments like he even has any idea what he's saying. He has no idea what he's talking about. He's effectively criticizing due process, which is a core part of the American justice system. And yes, there are major problems with the American justice system. Donald Trump didn't actually cite any of them. But the last thing that we should be looking to do is to remove elements of due process. And to get back to the lying, I would like to see the press corps that sits in the press briefing room when Sarah Huckabee Sanders puts out these screeds and lies. Have them make a pact where they say, when we ask a basic question just on facts, and Sarah Huckabee Sanders tries to deny that Donald Trump said it, let's all make a pact and agree that we will ask the same question over and over again as she calls on each one of us until she actually answers the question without denying the premises, or more than likely ends the press briefing early and walks off stage, as we've seen her do when the questions don't really go the way she wants them to go. I think that that would be a really interesting thing to see, and I would love it if the press corps would actually do it. Will they? Probably not. Send me your thoughts on the constant lying. I'm on Twitter at @DPakman. The show is on Twitter at David Pakman Show. We'll take a break and be back after this. Today's episode of the David Pakman Show made possible in part by Movement Watches. I'm wearing my Movement Watch today. Everywhere I go, people like it. People ask me about it. They say, how much did that watch cost? Assuming that it's somewhere between $400 and $500. And I tell them, Movement Watches start at just $95. And Movement Watches actually started sort of like the David Pakman Show. In fact, they used crowdfunding to get off the ground. They have sold over 1 million watches in more than 160 countries directly online. And that's how they keep prices low, by cutting out the middleman altogether. And you can save 15% off of a Movement watch with free shipping and free returns by going to mvmt.com/Pakman. Save 15%, free shipping, free returns, mvmt.com/Pakman. Join the movement.